Tuesday night. Let me get it together. Okay, all right. Pretty Petty Tuesday. Daily Go-Getterism show all up in your area. Tonight we talking a little bit of politics because it was election day today. Did y'all get out and vote? I know people who don't vote. And the crazy thing about it is the people that I know who don't vote are normally the ones that have so much to say about voting. And they're often the ones who have so much to say about candidates and political processes and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's odd. I think it's odd when people who don't vote have so much to say about voting or whatever. And people who don't vote have so much to say about the voting process and, your vote doesn't even really matter and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, if your vote doesn't matter, how do the policies matter? And why do, for example, why does the GOP try to suppress the vote so much? If it doesn't matter, why do they try to take voting rights away from so many people? Like, there has to be something to it, right? Something. I'm not saying that there aren't any other kind of hiccups or conspiracies or problems or, like some mad corruption. I'm not saying that at all. But there has to be. Fuck. Oh, no, we good. We good, right? Y'all hear me? All right. I just had y'all on the, when I saw blue, because I like it on the green. The green. We good? Levels is good. What's up, Crash? T Carry, right, morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peepers going directly into your site. So like I was saying, and y'all did hear everything I was saying, right? Or, I wasn't just up here talking to myself, was I? Let me know, because if I was, and I'll have to repeat everything that I said. So hopefully it didn't go down like that. But like I was saying, the people that I know who don't vote always have so much to say about candidates and policies and administrations and the way that things should be versus the way that they are and blah, 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 and this, that, and the third and all this kind of stuff. So tonight, we want to talk about Zohran Mandani of New York City winning the mayoral race. The mayor of New York is not black, is not white, is not Latino. The mayor of New York this time around is a Muslim. A Muslim. You would never think that in New York that would happen. And his policies are openly democratic socialist. Democratic socialist. Now, he was a very popular candidate. And it almost seemed like he was a shoo-in to win the mayoral race. And from what I understand, he won by a pretty large margin. Let me see exactly how much he won by. Let me get my Google on. Because he was going up against Andrew Cuomo. And yeah, I don't think nobody wanted that. How much did Zohran Mandani win in the mayoral race of New York City? A decisive 12-point victory. So he won pretty big. And there's some other Democrats that won all over the country too. So this is an interesting thing. Very historical. Because one of the things that he did that really caught the attention of the New York public and the United States as a whole is that he promised that he was going to tax the rich and that he was going to subsidize stores and things like that. So the prices of things in New York could finally be controlled and not astronomical. Now we know that we live in a democratic society and we live in a capitalist society. And we know that some of the problems with capitalism is that, in a free market society, things can get priced the way that they want to price them, which has been pretty much the problem after the pandemic, because, prices got raised during the pandemic and they never went down. Why? Because you can't make the stores price things lower. So all of that stuff that Donald Trump was saying last year about how he was going to lower the prices of things, gas and inflation and food and all of that kind of stuff, it was a lie. He knew he couldn't do it. And he hasn't done it, and it's not going to get done. Not by those policies. But this policy with Zohran Mandani. Now let me be clear. I don't live in New York. I have family in New York, but I do not live in New York. I'm not from New York. I frequently have, I'm not going to say, I have to go to New York several times. I go to New York a lot. So anyway, I understand the landscape. I understand a lot of things that go on with New York, and I have a vested interest in how New York goes. Oh, Century says, you're this clown again. Well, think about it, Century. You're back again. So aren't you a clown? Because if you think I'm a clown and you came back to watch me, that makes but, I could say, let's be friends. Let's find some common ground. But I'm more inclined to tell you to eat a dick and die. As a matter of fact, I'm more inclined to tell you to eat an AIDS dick and die fast with no treatment. Because that's how I feel about people like you. See, I'm exercising my democratic, my free society First Amendment. You can eat an AIDS dick and die. And I mean, in the worst way. So, my man, oh, damn. You back too? Oh, it's troll time. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm not even going to mention your name, bitch ass. All right. Carla, what's good? How you feeling, Ma? How you feeling? Good to see me some you. Hey, look, Carla, I ain't gonna play with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna play with them. They came to play, but they gonna play my way. It's all good. But like I was saying, with Zohran Mandani, he's actually outright being transparent about his socialist ideals and practices and how he wants to run his administration. So this is unprecedented, because even with Bernie Sanders, Bernie Sanders believes in socialism, but he was sort of tiptoe around it because he knows that's not a popular thing. And in the United States, we can't practice socialism, not outright, not with the word socialism. We can't practice communism, not with the word communism, but we can do whatever we want to do in practice. Oh, damn, Century got put out. Kalan, yo, watch your step, dude. Watch your step. I got my moderator on tonight. It might not be safe. Be careful. That's what I would advise you to do. Be careful. Be very careful. But anyway, so if this thing with Mandami really works out, this will be a model for a lot of other principalities, for a lot of other governments, not governments, but for a lot of other states, city governments, and things like that. But the things that he wants to do are the things that they say can't be done. These are things that they say can't be done. Like you can't do this, yo. You're like, you got to slow down, son. You know what I mean? Like, this thing that you're proposing, this is gonna blow the lid off of everything. But it's going down. He won, and he won by 12 points. So that lets you know that New Yorkers wanted this. They wanted this, and they got it. Now, what's going to happen from here? How is this going to play out? How is this going to go down? Is this, you know how they say, you might get what you want, but you might not want what you got. You might get what you want, but you might not want what you got. So that's what we're doing here with this whole Mandami thing, this Zohran Mandani thing. He won. Now we got to see how this whole thing is going to play out. I'm optimistic. Because, you know, on the Democratic side, I think that something new has to be done. You know, Donald Trump has definitely turned American politics on his head. So there's no way we can keep going the way that we were going before. You know how Democrats used to always try to act with dignity and with sophistication and with couth, and they didn't really like to call people out and stuff like that. Well, all of that's dead now because we're in the social media age now, and we're not going back to any other age. So now it's all about name calling. Now it's all about memes and all this old crazy stuff. Now I don't approve of a lot of that stuff. But when we're talking about New York City, if you're talking about places like New York City, if you're talking about places like Chicago, if you're talking about places like Philadelphia, if you're talking about places like LA, you're talking about major cities. You're talking about places where there's a lot of cultural diversity. You're talking about a place where they overwhelmingly vote Democratic. That's how that goes down. So what Mandami did is he promised to tax the rich and do it for real this time, because you know Democrats often play around with that concept and then they don't do it. But he said he's going to do it, and not only that, but he wasn't going for the okie doke or the bribes. So what he didn't do was sit down with any of the business community. So, because you know what they wanted to do. They wanted to, you know, have a sit down with him, offering him some money. Like, I'll give this much, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, all of that taxing the rich and all of that, we don't want. We don't want none of that. Now, you know, Donald Trump is giving mad tax breaks to the rich. And that's whether you support Trump or not. The truth is the truth. And his way is his way. And his way is the rich aren't getting taxed at all, and you are. Well, you're getting a tax break too, but not nowhere in comparison because you have to lose all these programs. But forget about all of that for right now. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented that a mayor of a city like New York is not going for the bribery. That does not happen in a place like New York City. Like normally, you know, they all about the palm greasing. Like, yo, yeah, all right, I'm gonna let you. The money going to come anyway, right? It's going to go down anyway. I might as well get mine. Well, Mandami said no. The buck stops here. I'm not going out like that. I'm not accepting that. I'm not doing that. That's not going to happen here. So what does that mean to you? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to anybody? You're probably not from New York. I'm not from New York. So should we care? I think we should care in this way. Like I said, first of all, he's a Muslim. And you know how this government tries to treat Muslim-born residents. I mean, remember, and it wasn't too long ago in this country with this administration, the first time that we had a full Muslim ban. in this country, a full Muslim ban. That's not a, there is no country called Muslima. There's no country called that. So based on your religion, there was a time when you weren't allowed to come into this country, or you had to get vetted so closely and highly that the chances of you being able to come here was low. We had a whole Muslim ban. Can you imagine having a Jewish ban? Like, yo, man, you know what I mean? If you're a Hebrew, you know, you can't come into the United States. Like, y'all too dangerous. And when you really think about it, it would make sense nowadays, because if you look at what Israel has been doing as far as the genocide over there in Palestine, why shouldn't it be a Hebrew ban? Like, y'all can't come in here until y'all stop, you know, killing babies and starving people and killing innocent people. That's not war. War is where soldiers are supposed to kill soldiers. You ain't supposed to, y'all, yeah. But can you imagine that? Can you imagine a Hebrew ban, a Jew ban? No, it's never gonna happen. But we had a Muslim ban. So for a Muslim to become to become mayor of New York City, all 5 boroughs, from the Bronx to Queens to Manhattan to Staten Island to Brooklyn. Could it be that New York City is ready to take the country to a different place or in a different direction than the rest of the country is ready to go? Now, New York is a blue state, and Donald Trump didn't win that in the election. But Pennsylvania, where I live, is a swing state. It's a swing state. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red. It's red. Donald Trump won Pennsylvania this time around. He lost it his second time around. He won it this time. So there's something to be said about that. But how is this whole thing going to go down? How is this whole thing going to go down? So yeah. So Zohran Mandani. How do y'all think this is going to play out on the world stage, especially in the United States? Because the whole country was looking at that election. Normally, we would be looking at state elections, like, you know, for the governor's race and things like that. Oh, shout out to what's her name? She won in Virginia, which is major. She flipped Virginia to blue because, you know, Donald Trump was planning on doing some treacherous shit. You know what I mean? You know, down in D.C., controlling that DMV area, that Maryland, D.C., Virginia type of thing. Well, now there's going to be pushback. And that was the thing with Zohran Mandani. He told Trump, like it ain't going down like that at all. I'm not fucking with you at all. And Donald Trump has already told him that he already made a statement, an official statement, that if Zohran Mandani wins the mayoral race of New York City, that he was only going to give them the minimum of funding of federal funding. Like, if that's not, and this is before the election, if that's not voter tampering, election interference, what is? The president, can you imagine if Biden would have stood in front of a camera and said, well, if such and such wins in if the mayor if this crazy mayor of San Antonio wins, then I'm not gonna send no money down there before the election. First of all, you can't even do that after an election. It's not your jurisdiction, to play around with the money that's supposed to be allocated to certain states. That's not your job. That's not your function. That's not your authority. But this president seems to believe that he can do whatever he wants. And because nobody checks him, and because everybody acts like they're afraid of him, he's getting away with it. But I will say this, because of the way that he's acted, because of the things that he's done, because of all of this craziness, all of this messiness, because of the state of the country is right now. Now, Democrats have had to push back. They've had to. Even Republicans are pushing back. Like, do you see what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene? She going on The View like, yo, we gotta do something about this healthcare. I don't know what's up with my Republican brothers, and I'm tired of this sausage party that they having. They don't want to let the girls play unless they speaking up for Trump. But they don't have. She said that they don't have a healthcare plan. She said they don't have one. She tried not to just straight come out and say it. So they helped her. They was like, is it possible that they just don't have a healthcare plan? And she was like, shit. I think you're right. I don't think they have one. I don't think they have a healthcare plan. They don't have no healthcare plan, baby. They ain't got no plan. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you don't have no healthcare plan for you, brother? Kim's Wims is in the house. What's good? And my man, I Heart Oakland. What's good? How you feeling, my dude? How you feeling? JJ. Thanks for coming through, y'all. I appreciate you. So this is what we doing tonight. Man. We are talking about Zohran Mandani. We can talk about some other political opponents too. Shout out to what's their names? All right. The chick who won for governor of Jersey, governor of New Jersey, governor of Virginia. Those are major wins. So a lot of the things that Zohran Mandani wants are unprecedented, especially in New York. See, I don't know if you've never been in New York, you don't understand what I'm talking about. But it's so expensive to live in New York. It's expensive to live in a lot of major cities. But New York is next level. New York is tops of the pops when it comes to things being expensive. New York is different. Very, very different when it comes to cost. So this is some of the list. This is a list of some of the things that he's proposing and that he's serious about. And this is why he got elected. He said he wants to freeze the rent. He said a majority of New Yorkers are tenants, and more than 2 million of them live in rent-stabilized apartments. These homes should be the bedrock of economic security and for the city's working class. Instead, Eric Adams has taken every opportunity to squeeze tenants with his hand-picked appointees to the Rent Guidelines Board, jacking up rents on stabilized apartments by 12.6% and counting, the most since a Republican ran City Hall. So, as mayor, he will immediately freeze the rent for all stabilized tenants, and use every available resource to build the housing New Yorkers need and bring down the rent. Now, if you have relatives in New York City, now I'm not speaking about anywhere else out in New York State. I'm talking about New York City. All 5 boroughs. I don't see how people afford to live in New York. Even if you're from New York. You know, it's a lot easier to be able to cope in a place that you've grown up because you don't know any other way. But you know, a lot of people in New York live in housing projects because they have to, because they can't afford to live anywhere else. You know, the apartments in New York are pretty small in comparison to other places. You know what I mean? New York, you're talking about 8 million people. 8 million people, and they always putting on more. I think it's more than 8 million people. I think at one time I had heard it was up to 10 million. But okay, we'll go with 8 million. It's been 8 million for decades. So imagine not being able to find any place anywhere for less than, I don't know, $1,800, $2,000, $3,000. Like, how can you afford that? Like, if you work in fast food or you just work a regular job making $50,000, you can't afford a place that's going to cost you $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month is $24,000 a year. Out of a 50 grand salary, where you're not taking home 50 grand, that's just, you know, that's before taxes. The tax man cometh, and New York taxes are high. All right, so that's what he wants as far as the rent is concerned. He also wants fast, fair, free buses. The cost of transportation in New York is high too. He says public transit should be reliable, safe, and universally accessible. But 1 in 5 New Yorkers struggle to afford the ever-rising fare. Adding insult to injury, our city's buses are the slowest in the nation, robbing the working people of precious time for family, leisure, and rest. Zohran won New York's first fare-free bus pilot on 5 lines across the city. As mayor, he'll permanently eliminate the fare on every city bus. Free buses? Eliminate the fare on every city bus and make them faster by rapidly building priority lanes, expanding bus queue, jump signals, and dedicated loading zones to keep double parkers out of the way. Fast and free buses will not only make buses reliable and accessible, but will improve safety in riders and operators, creating the world-class service New Yorkers deserve. That makes sense to me. If you've ever been in New York, you know how crowded it is. You know how complicated it can seem to ride public transportation. But free buses, shit, it never happened in Philly. Okay. The Department of Community Safety. All New Yorkers deserve to be safe, but the Adams administration has failed to deliver the sense of safety and security that everyone should feel walking down our streets, riding our subways, or taking our buses. Zohran will create the Department of Community Safety to prevent violence before it happens by prioritizing solutions which have been consistently shown to improve safety. Police have a critical role to play, but right now we're relying on them to deal with the failures of our social safety net, which prevents them from doing their actual jobs. Through this new city agency, the whole of government approach, community safety will be prioritized like never before in New York City. The department will invest in citywide mental health programs and crisis response, including deploying dedicated outreach workers in 100 subway stations, providing medical services in vacant commercial units, and increasing transit ambassadors to assist New Yorkers on their journeys. Expand evidence-based gun violence prevention programs and increase funding to hate violence prevention programs by 800%. I don't have a problem with that. He wants the streets to be safer. He wants transportation to be safer. No cost childcare. Yo. No cost childcare. After rent, the biggest cost for New York's working families is childcare. It's literally driving them out of the city. New Yorkers with children under 6 are leaving at double the rate of all others. The burden falls heaviest on mothers who are giving up paying jobs to do unpaid childcare. Zohran will implement free childcare for every New Yorker aged 6 weeks to 5 years, ensuring high quality programming for all families. And he will bring up wages for childcare workers, a quarter of whom currently live in poverty, to be at parity with public school teachers. It will foster early childhood development, save parents money, and keep our families in the city they call home. Free childcare? Free childcare. Like, not just cheaper childcare. Anybody who has kids, married couples, co-parenting situations, in order to go to work, if you have small children, infants, toddlers, they're not school age. And school should not be a place, it shouldn't be, school is not for babysitting. It's for learning. It's for educational advancement. So you can learn things and develop your brain activity, learn how to think, and be able to be productive in society. But when mommy and or daddy have to go to work and they don't have anybody to watch the kids, unfortunately, school can become a babysitter. Like, how come they can't be in school longer? I don't get off work till 6. I need you to keep the shit. So childcare, free childcare will definitely help. Childcare in Philly, we talking about like $300 a week. Come on, man. $300. And that's cheap. When you're paying out of pocket, it becomes a situation that's totally unaffordable. Totally unaffordable. But you have to have childcare. So what are you going to do? Well, by his plan, he's going to get rid of the cost of childcare. City-owned grocery stores. Who likes to pay a lot of money for groceries? Who likes to pay a lot of money for food? City-owned grocery stores. Food prices are out of control. Nearly 9 in 10 New Yorkers say the cost of groceries is rising faster than their income. Only the very wealthiest aren't feeling squeezed at the register. As mayor, Zohran will create a network of city-owned grocery stores focused on keeping prices low, not making a profit. Without having to pay rent or property taxes, they will reduce overhead and pass on savings to shoppers. They will buy and sell wholesale prices, centralize warehousing and distribution, and partner with local neighborhoods and on products and sourcing. With New York City already spending millions of dollars to subsidize private grocery store operators, which are not even required to take SNAP or WIC, we should redirect public money to a real public option. Damn, son. Woo. Now it goes on to say housing by and for New York. So they're talking about once again, talking about more affordable housing. Cracking down on bad landlords. Targeting those poor ass tenants that can't afford to live in your place and is ran down. Taxes on big corporate. This is major right here. Taxes on big corporations and the wealthiest New Yorkers. Zohran has a plan to bring down the cost of living through city-owned grocery stores, universal child care, and bold proposals, and he knows exactly how to pay for it too. Zohran's revenue plan will raise the corporate tax rate to match New Jersey's 11.5%, bringing in $5 billion, and he will tax the wealthiest 1% of New Yorkers, those earning above $1 million annually, a flat 2% tax. Right now, city income tax rates are essentially the same whether you make $50,000 or $50 million. Zohran will also implement common sense procurement reform, end senseless non-bid contracts, hire more tax auditors, and crack down on fine collection from corrupt landlords to raise the additional $1 billion. So there's a lot going on here, man. For real. There's a lot going on here. And this is pretty much unprecedented. This has not been done before. This is all brand new. He won. He won tonight. That's the first step. Will this spread out? Surely, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Surely, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. And EB, what's good? How you feeling, EB? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through, all y'all. All right, so here's what we going do, man. We gonna get into this thing, and we gonna have this conversation, and it's starting about now. Right about now. So what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? Zohran Mandani has won. Now, you may not care about New York, but you probably have to admit that New York is the biggest city damn near in the world. You know what I mean?
You have a call.
And if you know the mayor of any city in the United States, more than likely you probably know New York City's mayor. And you're definitely going to know this one because he has turned shit upside down. You know, he has really, really caught the attention of the American public. And if the things that he is proposing or promising, if this shit really goes down, New York will never be the same. This dude will be like a god. Real trap. He will be like a god. Because we ain't never ever seen no shit like what he's talking about doing. So let's get into it. Caller with the last number's 5. Kim, what's good, Ma? How you feeling tonight?
Hey, what's up, son? Hey, family. Hey, Chad.
Yeah. So you know what it is. So what do you think about today's election results overall?
First, let's just say, when you talk about the Muslim ban and Muslims, we know them people over there associate Muslims being black. So that was the first strike against him. They've already had an issue with him because of that. And then the fact that he considers himself a democratic socialist. And socialism, of course, is tied to so much negativity versus what it really means, or even what he thinks, what it means to him. So it's been used as a weapon against him. Those two things, him being Muslim and him being a socialist, have been used as weapons against him. And of course, as you said, New York will change. It will never be the same, even if he does everything that he says he's going to do, which I think is a hard feat to accomplish in totality. But, we'll see. This orange loser is going to make New York an example in every way possible. So it's not ever going to be the same for sure, because he's going to make sure it's not the same. He's going to try to make it as miserable as possible because he wants no one else to ever try this again. And I swear, I hope to God that everybody stands united and fights this shit and makes it do what it do and proves them wrong so other states can jump on and accomplish the same thing, because it's if it weren't for so much greed from white men in this country, then we all would be able to function united and keep this country afloat. But unfortunately, that's not where we are. So, and that's not where we've ever been, because this country was built on the bullshit it was built on. So this is either going to enhance it and make it improve, or it's going to be the exact tumble this country has been thriving for. So, but let's get to it.
Well, here's the thing. One thing that we have to understand and recognize is that the needs of New York are different than the needs of other cities in this country. Mm-hmm. You know, like even in Philly, like people coming from other places have driven up the rent in New York, but this is not an unaffordable city. You know, you got to work, you know what I mean? And you got to pay your rent, but you can find places under $1,000 in the city. So we were not raised in a high rent type of society. You know, that's not where we come from. This is a blue collar city in which the transit company is the biggest employer in the city. So that lets you know where we are economically. Not saying that nobody in Philly has no real money, because there are plenty who do. But if the transit company is your biggest employer in the city, that lets you know what the economic base is like, and what the expectation of what the economic expectation lies. You understand what I mean? Whereas in New York, the bar is set high, and there's so much corruption because of the way that it's set up. Like in New York, you can't just go to a building and go to the rental office and fill out a rental application. It doesn't work that way. They have apartment brokers. Like, it's the craziest shit I ever heard. Like, when I first heard about it, I was like, what the fuck is an apartment broker? You mean like a landlord? Like, no. Like, you go to a place, just like you have a real estate broker, whereas you don't just go up to somebody's house and ask them, can you buy it? You know, they do the same thing with apartments. So they have like a list of apartments that they can show you, and you won't be able to get an apartment any other way. And so you have to pay the apartment broker and the landlord. That shit's crazy.
It is the saddest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. And let me apologize, JJ, I don't speak in absolute, so I do mean rich white men when I say that, so forgive me. You know, it just seems like that whole setup in New York has always been designed to take advantage of the poorest people who come to this country. That's what it feels like to me. And the poorest people in this country who live in New York. That's what that whole thing seems like it's been designed to do. Take from it, take from the culture, take from all the best parts of New York and make as much money as you can off of it, but then still make everything the worst possible place for the residents of New York. That's what it feels like to me. Because we know in places like Milan and in California, in every place, the fashion houses, the music industry, the movie and television industry, they take everything from New York and bleed it dry and benefit from it, but they don't give back to it. Everybody loves to go to New York and get all the food and culture and everything from it and then shit on it. And I just think it's always been designed like that, because somebody somewhere with some big pockets decided this is the place where this is the melting pot. And we can take advantage of everybody who crosses into this space and everybody who was born and raised in this space. And let's do it to death. Let's do it until these people have no other option. They're stuck here, and we can continue to fuck them over with no break. That's what I feel like. So
Well, I feel differently. I really don't feel sorry for New Yorkers because they got their own shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, I got a lot of people in New York, so I get it, but I don't feel sorry for them. They know how to cope a lot better than other people. If you can make it in New York, you certainly can make it anywhere else out in the world. And I know a lot of New Yorkers that, well, not necessarily. You know what I mean? Because there's the corruption in now. I don't want to bash New York. I don't want to do that, but I don't feel sorry for them. Now I'm just going. You know, I'm just keeping it. I don't feel sorry for Philadelphia. I don't. I know too much. You know what I'm saying? Like you know. But I'll say this. You know, the indoctrination that can take place, whether it's good or bad, you know, is going to continue in any place that you live. So, you know, you will get used to the culture, whatever that culture is. New York is one of those places where the culture of New York seems to be defined by, like, you know, old Italian gangsters and type shit like that. That's what you think about. That's kind of like what you think about when you speak about an original New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when the mob was running shit and they were highly responsible besides the government, they were responsible for the prices of shit being high too, because they were taxing, you know, through criminal networks and racketeering. They had the store owners and business owners having to pay a street tax, you know what I mean, for not having their businesses burned or vandalized and all of that shit. So all of that shit has added to the negative culture, the negative financial culture that we have going on right now. So I can't blame everything on the government. Not everything. There were other, you know, La Cosa Nostra and all that kind of shit. There were other entities that were influencing how things went in New York. So, but nonetheless, we are where we are now. And what I'm really wondering is whether if Mandami does what he says he's going to do, will that spread out to the rest of the country? Will we see a surge of a renaissance or a new beginning going on all over this country? Is it possible? That's what we need to see. And it starts now. We gonna see.
Well, I think some places will pick it up, but the majority won't. And I'm not just talking about Republican-led states. I mean, even Democratic-led states. They won't pick it up. Just because even some of the Democrats aren't in favor of him based on nationality, ethnicity, cultural choices, and the use of the word socialist. A lot of them are still hooked on these words without really understanding them or trying to have a real conversation and understanding where he's coming from. So I even think it's going to be limited in the Democratic places, Democratic-led states. Maybe some cities will jump on, but I don't think the states as a whole, and of course in the Republican states, is going to be a problem. For one, he's proposing things that will remove funding from those who prefer to fill their pockets and let them eat cake to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely I'm going to agree with that. The fact for the poor and middle class to take 10 steps ahead is not ever going to win with a lot of these politicians, because how do they benefit? They don't win when that happens. So they aren't going to agree with that. And then, of course, we still have this monster in chief who is not going to allow it. And we never know what's going to happen with him. So that is going to be a tough feat for him to accomplish. But I'd love to see it happen in one place first. And maybe over the course of time, if enough people who agree with his style of politicking get in lead roles, then maybe more of them will say, yes, we too want to try this. We too want to see our communities do better. Like, I am a fan of the city ran grocery stores. However, there is a caveat that I want to go with it. It needs to be, it needs to have community equity in it for it to work, in my opinion. It can't just be city ran and it worked. That's not going to happen. Even with the child care, I don't believe he's ever going to have 100% free child care, but lowering the cost, yes, I can see that. It's going to be impossible for it to be free, especially in some place like New York. It's too big. The population is too large for it to work. But I can see the cost being lowered and more affordable for families and, single parents who need child care and grandparents who are guardians who are raising children in their second half of life. I can see that working, but I don't see free child care working across. But I mean, I've seen stranger things happen in mine. It's a hard push. However, that same blueprint could work in smaller communities. Like a small place in Arkansas, I could see all of that working. But some place the size of New York, maybe not as a whole. Even here in my community, well, I have a Republican ran state, so they're not ever going to allow anything to work that makes sense. But even in my city, some of these things have been tried, but there wasn't enough of an effort as a whole because it wasn't the city. It was just different smaller communities within the city where we tried to make them work. But I think if the city gets involved as a whole with some backing, it's feasible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in support of something like that. But I don't think it was spread enough. Like, I can't see it happening in California as a whole.
I can dig it. I want to see if he's going to be able to do it in New York. Because I think
that's what I want to see.
One thing is for sure. If he can accomplish even half of the things that he said he's setting out to do in New York, it can be done anywhere. You know what I mean? Because when you talk about democratic socialism, that was a bold statement there. To win on, to run on that and win on that, that lets you know that New Yorkers want they want something different, and they don't mean different in the red state sort of way, in the GOP way. They've had enough. Trump came in saying how he was going to lower prices and how he was going to, eliminate inflation and how he was going to do this. And evidently, at least in New York, they're standing up and they're saying, I don't want to hear that shit no more. I don't fucking want to hear it. Now, you're talking about somebody who actually has a plan. Because when you really think about it, when Trump was campaigning last year, he didn't have a plan. He just said he was going to do it. And that's why he's still saying he's going to do it. There's no plan. He just
an idea of a plan. That's what he said.
Concepts of a plan. That's he said concepts of a plan. But
concepts of a plan.
So when you're dealing with a serious politician who's saying, no, this is what we drew up. This is how we're going to get the money from here. This is how we're going to get the money to here. We're going to pull from there. We're going to pull from there. We're going to pull from here. And then we're going to funnel it over there. Now, when it starts working over here, then we can get it back to those places where it came from in the first place. because we can't just drain any. That's how plans work. And any commander in chief is supposed to know how to move around the pieces so nothing suffers. So, you know, when you look at the whole Doge thing and they were talking about fraud and abuse, fraud, waste, and abuse. That's what they say about any program that they don't like. Anything that they want to eliminate without telling you why, without giving you a viable explanation, they just say fraud, waste, and abuse. Meanwhile, you're like, well, you know, fraud is a crime, a federal crime. And I would think that if you're claiming that there's fraud, waste, and abuse in all of these programs that you're ending, not only should the program end, but the officers of the programs, the developers of the programs, the people who ran it, they need to be prosecuted. Not one name has come up. Not one indictment has happened. Not one conviction. Not an arrest. Nothing. Not even an affidavit, a summons, a court date. Not even the naming of anyone. It's crazy. So
that's the part that makes this even more in question, because he's made a threat if Mandani would win, what he would do. And that is going to make it even more hard for him to take care of everything he wants to take care of on the financial front, because this man is saying he is going to halt funds that are owed to New York as with any other state. And I believe he is going to do exactly as he says, because he's proven to us when it comes to anything negative that he says he's going to do, he's definitely going to do that. Nothing positive, but definitely going to do the negative stuff he said. So that is going to make it a little more, it's going to be a challenge for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot going down right now. There's a whole lot. So I
love that this man won on being just the name Democratic Socialist. I think people need to really explore what he means by that. Like for me, I think he really means that it just, hey, let's do away with this state control, government control of everything. And let's, you know, it's more about public power to reduce some of this economic precarity that we're dealing with. And let's take this burden away from the working people and rebuild our public systems to serve everyone on a broader base and not just keep fattening the pockets of the wealthy. That's what I think he means by that. At least that's what it seems like what he means by it, because he's talking about grocery costs, because he's talking about transit fares, because he's talking about housing issues, which are big everywhere. They're humongous in New York for sure. They're humongous in California, because places like this are, the cost of living is ridiculous and insane. But these are issues that hit every sector of this country, no matter what your economic level is. For the most part, I'm not talking about the uber wealthy, because they don't fit into my realm of any kind of logic. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about just the everyday people who are just trying to work and survive. These things hit everywhere. So I believe now the transit situation, no, that's not in every city and state. We know that because someplace like here, we don't rely on public transportation as much as someplace like New York, right, or California. Mm-hmm. But still, in the places where it counts, like someplace in a small town, Arkansas, where that's all they have to get from home to a local hospital, yes, that would make a difference. So, he's just talking about things that affect the everyday average layman who is just trying to survive. So I believe that's one of the reasons why he won. And that's why on the world stage, everybody's looking to him to do a good job and looking to New York to set a new way. Just the fact that he's a millennial, that in and of itself, he's moved out some of these old heads who don't fucking want to listen, who are stuck in some unrealistic ways that I don't absolutely understand. And this thought process that it has to be like this for it to work. And if it does, yay. And if it doesn't, so what? I'm still going to get my paycheck. He's coming in with a fresher outlook on what's tomorrow. And because he's in that group, he knows a different tomorrow in order for us all to survive. So I think that's another reason why, too, he was able to win.
Well, yeah, he was able to win because, well, New York don't fuck with Trump.
Of course not.
And they don't vote red. New York State is blue all the time. You don't flip New York. So
Cuomo ruined his chances, dumbass.
Cuomo. Yeah. Donald Trump. Now he was saying how he wasn't going to capitulate to Donald Trump and all of that. And he was lying.
Of course.
And Trump straight endorsed that.
Sex offenders and pedophiles unite. They were in that shit together. Are you kidding me?
Yo, did you see the debates between Mandami and Cuomo?
Yes, I saw one or two briefly. It was just the stupidest stuff that Cuomo said. I'm like, sir,
yeah,
don't lay on somewhere.
I was talking about Mandami going at Cuomo. Yo, he was torching his ass. That shit was nasty. You know what I mean? That shit was woo. And I mean woo.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now shut up, sir. Pedophile. Shut up, kid toucher. Shut up.
Yo, he brought that right up. Like, yo, you was accused. Like, come on, dude. You on some other shit. What up, Jason? What's good? JJ.
Hey, Jason.
But New Yorkers are fed up with this shit. You know what I mean? They know how hard it is to live there and to be able to raise a family, to be able to afford anything, to be able to just to be able to breathe. And they sick of it. So he was sounding like a fresh voice for them. Like, look, it's so crazy it might work. But he won by 12 points. What does that tell you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? What does that tell you? So if he delivers on his promises or his campaign promises and follows the plan that he said that he was going to implement, this is a copycat league, as they say. Other motherfuckers gonna start getting on board with the quickness. That is a gonna happen thing. It's absolutely.
I hope he stays true to himself. I hope he stays true to his background, his culture. I hope he stays true to everything that he's done historically. Like, before he got into this, he was a housing counselor for foreclosures or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knows that area. He knows that work. So I hope he sticks to what he knows and sticks to, his morality when it comes to that kind of work, why he got into that in the first place and what it meant to him then. I hope he sticks to that and makes these things come true. Even with him being involved in a hunger strike, he knows what that was like. He knows what it felt like. He knows what it meant. So I hope he sticks to that and his morals stay in place when it comes to building these city-ran grocery stores. I just hope he does not lose himself in there somewhere. And I hope he gets a good team of people in his cabinet to work with him. And that's across the board, everybody. And the first time somebody shows a sign of they are not on board for the right thing, he doesn't waste time and he just cuts them loose. Like there is no room for mistakes in there anywhere. So I just hope he gets the right people surrounding in his group to say we are going to do this, and people who work hard. I know he pulled together a team of door knockers in districts that were ignored by the Democratic Party. So I hope he can still get the same group of people times 10 to get out there and really get people to get on board with what he's trying to do. And he has a solid plan. Of course, many plans can be laid over and over and over and they can fail, but I hope he has the nuts enough to say, okay, let's change this here, let's tweak this here, let's dot this I and cross this T and X out these words over here, and let's try the plan in a different way, because that one right there may be going off the rails a bit, not because it's intentional, but because we have so many forces working against us. So now we got to find another way to make it happen. I hope he doesn't get so exhausted with it and aged with it, because we know when you are fighting tyrants, it ages you immediately. And I hope he doesn't become so aged and he becomes tired and exhausted with it. So, and that's the good thing about having a younger person who is going to try to take the reins. He has the energy to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think, from the energy that I got from him, I don't see any way that he wouldn't deliver. Because this is more than just ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, somebody comes along and says, and really recognizes what's needed. And when you stop accepting, basically in politics, when you stop accepting the bribe money, you can get some shit done.
Mm-hmm.
You can never get anything done as long as you take in the bribe money. And that's why in all of these states and cities and shit like that, that's why you never see anything that the people really want getting done. Ever. You never see what the people want getting done. They always pivot and give you some blanket shit that they tell you is going to benefit everybody. But they never gave you what you want, what you asked for. Around election time, they may start giving you a little of what you want or whatever. They start going in different budgets and, look, I can do it. All you got to do is elect me and I'll do a little bit more. Then they get elected and they'll do shit. And that's because their money is tied up. I hate to go to the whole, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker and all that. But I mean, they got that AIPAC money. They can't move. It's like, I'm not disappointed at all. I expect this shit. But see, and that's what I expect to be the difference between Mandami and all these other motherfuckers. These other motherfuckers didn't threaten to do this shit. They didn't have the balls. This dude took the gloves off. He said, nah, I'm not going to sit down with them. Because I already know what they're going to do. And I'm not having it. Not having it.
He appeals to a diverse group of constituents. That's another thing too. Mm-hmm. And people are going to use his identity. The critics are going to use it against him. And even coming out here from a religious standpoint is so low class ignorant to me. Like, since that's a term that this orange stupid dummy likes to use, is low class and low IQ. Sorry, I feel like I got a sneeze. I think that's what they're going to go at because, of course, we know he wants the entire country, excuse me, to be Christian. I'm like, he's even worried about Nigeria and wants all of them to be Christian. And it's always amazing to me how that is an issue in a place where no one knows the fucking history. But anyway, I know that's going to be tough because even somebody like Hakeem Jeffries, I know it took him a long time to endorse him, and that was one of his issues, that whole religious thing. And I'm like, let's break from that too. And I know everybody's not going to be in favor of me saying that, and that's fine, I'm on the island of Kim. But I think that is something that has to be taken off the shelf for him to be very active and for him to come through. They have to stop looking at it like that, because I've seen a lot of people too, and specifically people who are ethnic, say things like, well, he's not going on Christian values. And I'm like, do you even understand Christian values? What do you think existed before colonizers pushed and forced Christianity on you? Shut up. Shut the hell up. And so that is going to be an issue too. And I hope he is able to rise above that. Well, he has. I don't even know why I'm saying I hope. He has, because here he is winning this. But it's still going to be a fight for him. That's the thing about it.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an uphill battle. There's a lot is going to happen from here on out. It really is. A lot is about to go down. But like I said, this is an unprecedented thing. He won big. And he's young and ambitious enough and knowledgeable enough to push these things through, because I think he really wants to see it happen. You know, typically and historically, Democrats really just wanted to toe the line. You know, I hate to give Trump any credit, but he made Democrats get up off their ass.
He did.
He did. He made them get up off their ass. They were sitting softly on their ass, comfortably. You know what I mean? I'm talking about neck pillows and bean bags and futons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what they've been doing for decades.
Exactly. He said, all right, y'all want to chill? I'm going to let y'all chill. But I'm going to go ahead and do this old crazy shit. And, yeah. Good luck. So.
And they let him get knee deep in the mud with it. That's the thing. They have allowed him to get knee deep in the mud with it, and now it is a problem that is going to take decades to repair, if it's repairable at all. Because they sit back, sitting on their thumb, singing songs of kumbaya and hope instead of doing something. And that's across the board. And that's the reason why, in my opinion, Kamala didn't win. There was not enough of anything there. Yes, this country is not going to see a woman, especially an ethnic woman, lead any place. However, she still didn't do enough to solidify a win. And that's an argument amongst some friends and I, because they hear something different. Everybody was hyped up on she's my soror. She's this black woman, the first black woman. She's this, she's that, and she didn't put out enough of anything. And even now, I hate that she put out this book with all the things she has in it because she could have waited on that. This internal fighting in the Democratic Party is a problem. That's a fact. It is a problem. And they're fighting and fooling around and wasting time and bullshitting and twiddling their thumbs and singing hope and all this other bullshit is the reason why we are where we are now with most of a large portion of the country wondering where their next paycheck is going to come from and where their next meal is going to come from. In addition, we have people who are traveling and wondering if next week they're going to be able to return home because as long as this shutdown exists, they're talking about shutting off parts of the airspace. And so they're not even addressing that. And if they're saying next week already, that means this man is not planning to rise up on this shutdown. He is enjoying this to the fullest possible way he can.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's going on having parties and balls and all this bullshit and not knowing how to give out candy to kids and all this other ignorant stuff he's doing because he's like, this shutdown can last for the next 15 million years if I have it my way, because he is definitely trying to build up a war so he can be a forever president. Because we know in the time of war, where you don't switch president. So.
Well, at least he's not creative with with his plans. You know what I mean? Like he ain't gonna sneak up on nobody. Like it's obvious what he wants to do. I mean, he can deny it, but it's pretty obvious to anybody with half a brain and knowledge of politics what he wants to do. But this Mandami winning, this is going to fuck up a whole lot. You know, like this is not what I would call like a blue wave or whatever. You know, some people are touting it as that. I don't look at it that way.
No.
But this mayoral race could mess around and be the example that other cities and other states start to take into consideration if the shit works. This is a copycat league, and people like to do what works. I mean, when you really think about it, that's why people jumped on the Trump bandwagon. It was like, so no matter how offensive he is, no matter how ridiculous he is, and no matter how unqualified he is, motherfuckers like this shit, huh?
Well, Donald Trump was a kick in the nuts to democracy. I mean, a push to democracy. And Mandani is a kick in the nuts to non-democracy. So.
That's an interesting way to put it. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. But if this shit works, if it goes down, we will be looking at something that we've never seen before, and something that pretty much unlocks. You know, like when you play certain video games, you may do something on the game that wasn't really planned on the game, and then you see that you unlocked a new area or whatever, and it's like, oh. So now you have more options. You have more options to play. There are plenty of options in democracy, in politics, but nobody has unlocked some of the possibilities. They've been too afraid. And he said, so they've kept all of the possibilities the same. So one politician was just capitalizing on what another politician did before him. No creativity, no nuance, no nothing. No breakthroughs, no innovation. I mean, okay, I wouldn't say no innovation, but it was really just following through on the way that other administrations had done things before. This is new. This is brand new. Nobody, no, you know how Trump is always saying, nobody's ever seen anything like it. Well, this is actually true. We have not seen anything like what he's proposing in this country. We ain't seen it yet. Like I was saying earlier, Bernie Sanders tinkers around with socialism, but not like this. Yeah, not like this. Not like this. For him to actually come out and say it instead of having it be implied, that's different. That's different. It's major, and it sparks curiosity. It makes people say, "Well, hold on, let me." So, it's like seeing a magician for the first time. Like, you want to sit down and watch that for a minute. Like, how does he do this? So,
and isn't there a big protest that's supposed to take place today in Washington?
Is there?
I think there is supposed to be some kind of march on Washington today. If anybody in the chat knows, please share. I might be wrong, but I think there's supposed to be some kind of, because I remember they were saying after the election, they were hoping, each person won, like Mikey Cheryl, and now why can't I think of the lady from Virginia's name? Just that fast, and I know it. Anyway, they were saying that they planned it for, they were hoping for these wins and then plan this march after. At least that's what I thought was supposed to be happening. I could be wrong, but I think it's supposed to be a big march on Washington today.
All right, but let me look it up. Is there a march on Washington today? Nah. Let me try this. Is there any protest for November 5th today?
Yes, there are protests planned for today, November 5th. These include the Million Mask March, a worldwide event, and a nonviolent protest in Washington, D.C. against the Trump administration, organized by refusefascism.org.
Okay.
What's this mask march? What is that?
Yes, there are protests planned for November 5th, including the Million Mask March, an annual worldwide event on Guy Fawkes Day, a planned nonviolent protest. Okay, I don't know what that Million Mask March is. Wait, this is an annual worldwide event protest that takes place on November 5th, also known as Guy Fawkes Day. And in DC, a nonviolent protest is scheduled to begin in Washington, D.C. after it is organized by refusefascism.org with the goal of protesting the Trump fascist regime. The protest intends to mobilize people to surround the White House, Capitol, and Supreme Court. Surround it. Oh shit. We getting January 6th on them.
Okay. Interesting, but okay. Today will be busy for sure.
Tell them to come outside.
That's them to come outside. Today will be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's going down. It's a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah. It's people fighting back, as they should. Because if the Democrats are going to do it, independents, anybody else is going to do it, people are going to have to do it. I think that's the only way anybody's going to come out of this unscathed is if the people have to fight back, like the march, like the big protest, countrywide protest of 7 million plus. It's going to take more like that. Now, I'm a fan of a whole bunch of other things. I think it needs to be organized just a little more. Like when they gather in Washington, somebody should be there passing out note cards and flyers to everybody interested and telling them what the next step is. Because now they have to stop making it so public. Telling them what the next step is, what the next day is, what the next move is. If that's a organized walkout for all academia platforms, then let's do that. If it's our retail workers, today everybody walk out. If it's every business owner, today we don't open up shop, whatever it is going to be, It needs to be consistent and constant for it to work. And the people are going to have to fight back. The people voted Mandani in, the people voted everyone else in, the people are going to be the ones to have to fight this fight, unfortunately. We have had enough of sitting around waiting on these different parties to help. And people are tired of both Republican and Democrat parties. And I can see why.
Mm-hmm.
So other people have to fight.
Well, evidently it's going down. You know what I mean? People are serious. People are serious. But yeah, winning those gubernatorial races was major. Mm-hmm. Was very, very major. You know, this is not this is not something that you can take lightly, because trying to get shit done before these midterms, you know, having a chance to even have a midterm, you know, to have midterms. That's basically what we were talking about with the whole governor of Virginia race, the Virginia's governor race, and Jersey, because with Trump being down there in DC, you know he was planning on sending the National Guard into Virginia, you know what I mean, and fucking shit up there. So yeah, now he'll have pushback, but it's the pushback that seems to be the most important part of this equation, whether you're talking about Mandami or whether you're talking about in Virginia or Jersey. Not being afraid of this of Trump is paramount. He doesn't do well when people actually stand up to him. Like you look at Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom going at him hard is effective, because people need to see examples of people not capitulating and kissing the Trump ring all the time. And we've gotten a healthy dose.
Pissed off about that too.
Of course, because he's used to getting what he wants all the time. And
Newsom won on Prop 50, yes, on Prop 50. So I know he's shitty about that too.
Well, Kim, I'll tell you something. You can know how to take shots on a basketball court. You can sink shots all day and still not know how to play basketball. So somebody like Gavin Newsom actually knows how to govern. He actually reads and he understands, and he's been to school, and like he's wanted to do this at a level that showed that he was willing to go through the process. Donald Trump is more like somebody who can shoot set shots, but he's not going to be able to make any shots against anybody that's guarding him, and he ain't got no dribble, and he ain't got no left hand, even if he learned to dribble. So I'm saying all of this metaphorically because this is the actual situation. When you talk about a Gavin Newsom versus a Trump is the guy who can make a bunch of shots, but he can't play. You'll never be able to have him on your team because nobody is going to, as soon as somebody puts a hand in his face, he can't shoot. So that's what I'm comparing to people being afraid of him. When you show no fear, like bullies operate off of fear. They don't beat people up every day. They don't smack people up every day. Ain't nobody got time, energy, or skills for that. It's not going to work every day. Somebody is
Oh,
going
yeah,
to.
because maybe he's going to have Newsom arrested. Newsom said, well, come and do it.
Mhm.
I'm right here. Come and arrest me. Come
He
and do it.
he said, "Come and do it." Pritzker said, "Come and do it." Like everybody, like man, we don't go some
Nothing happened.
because he's selling wolf tickets and they know it. They read daily briefings and shit like that. They're actually in this thing. They know how to play basketball. They're not just, sitting at the perimeter like we playing horse.
Mm-hmm.
It may sound silly, but look at you see how Donald Trump plays golf. He cheats all the time. That's how he wins.
You see his granddaughter put, she exposed that he doesn't know what he's doing. Unintentionally exposed he doesn't know what he's doing.
Is that true?
Yeah, she created she was out playing with him and she made like a TikTok or something like that. And it was showing that he was missing every damn shot. Didn't make not one. He was so mad.
And this was golf?
Yes.
Oh.
And I don't think she intentionally meant to do it, but she's one of these young kids, and they go live everything they do. So once it was out there was nothing that could be done to stop it. Some of the late night hosts got a hold to it and played it. He was pissed off. Then he tried to say it was fake and all this, but no, sir. Your grandbaby made that while she was with you live.
Yeah. Sometimes kids just don't go along with the program now, do they?
Oh.
So, well, yeah. So not everybody is going to be afraid of him. Not everybody is going to bend to his whims. Not everybody is going to cooperate. Not everybody is going to be on board. Not everybody is going to think that he's hot shit. Like those cabinet meetings he be having, like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck?
Marco with your face in there. He's always looking like, it's like he has something over him and he just cannot shake it. Like he held captive in all these meetings and being forced to do the things he does not agree with. And it shows on his face, and it's like, well, get up and walk away, sir. But what does he have over you that you are just like, I am stuck here. I have to stay here in this foolishness.
He deserves everything he getting.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
I support him.
All of them do.
I support more and more humiliation for Marco Rubio.
Mm-hmm.
Or little Marco. Little Marco. This motherfucker used to only call him Little Marco.
And now you part of his cabbage.
That's crazy as fuck, boy.
How stupid are you? That is just he's talked bad about most of the people, and they are right there, still by his side. I'm like, wow. Weak ass men. Weird, weak men. But whatever. And you see, he said that he is not going to acknowledge what the judge told him to do about these SNAP benefits. But of course, his press secretary came out and tried to clean it up and say something different. But he said what he said. He meant what he said.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another thing. He was getting away with ignoring court orders, judge orders, and all that. He was getting away with that. That's coming to an end. I see. Well, it's slowing down. It's slowing down. Because Remember, he was getting judges to approve everything he did. At least now they're saying no. Nah, the tariff shit, no. Now you can go appealing all you want. The answer is fucking no. No, I mean, you got to stop some of this shit. Now it all starts at one. You know, we're not going to get everything out of him that we're looking for immediately. But you got to be, I mean, you have to get on. You have to get on the ball. You got to at least get started. And they're making a start. So I can't be mad at it from that standpoint. Damn allergies.
They got to make it stick, though. They got to make it stick.
Yeah. So, yeah. This Mandami shit. If it works. Well, let me say this. Socialism is not new in the United States. It's not new. We may not call it socialism when it works for us or when it does what we want it to do or intend for it to do. But what do you think these government bailouts are?
Well,
what do they call it? These stimulus packages. What do you think those are?
yeah.
When the government gives all this money to the railroad companies and shit like that for infrastructure, what do you think that is? All of these are forms of socialism. But they just don't like to use the word socialism.
Mandani said, fuck it, I am.
Exactly.
Put it on my shirt. Let me tattoo it on my arm.
Exactly.
Write it on my forehead in black permanent marker. Now what?
Exactly. And that's why you can't be mad at him, even if you're mad at him. Because he can point to where, well, look, we've been doing this anyway. Y'all just don't like to call it what it is. It's like saying passed away instead of died. Same result.
Would love to see a bunch of New Yorkers wear shirts that say I'm a socialist too. Oh, that would be so lovely.
He's a socialist. He's a socialist. He's some socialist. He's a socialist. He's they some socialists. We some socialists. Wouldn't you like to be a socialist too?
Yes, that would make so many people so angry.
Well.
Not well.
You have a call.
Well.
Sweet.
Yo, Troy, somebody had called my phone a few seconds
that's
ago.
Exactly when I seen that smirk on your face when you was on TV. I knew he was smirking because he was like, this dumbass motherfucker. He called my phone again.
What's up, party for the party?
Oh, boy, listen, boy. This bed be singing slow songs too. If this world was mine. I'm like, damn. Oh my God, man. Whew.
Oh, hold on. I got a missed call. Let me see. Oh shit. Who the fuck is calling me? Who was this calling me at 3:30 something in the morning?
Oh my God, boy. What's going on, Kel?
What's up, Troy?
Oh, man. Ooh. God damn. I woke up, I'm looking like, what the wrong is it? Shit.
Troy, you don't have time. Come on, jump in.
I know it. I'm like, this motherfucker. I mean, he's doing a lot, ain't he? He's taking off his coat. He's taking off his coat. He's shaking off water from the, he off his shoes.
I gotta get the trying to get this.
Jump in the rope, baby. Come on,
I'm trying to get the Barry White voice off my throat, bro. Damn.
Well, you supposed to do that before you call.
Well, I jumped right up and called.
It's more like the WB Frog. It's more like Frog, not Barry White. I mean.
He took Freddie the Frog from News Review. That's it. Freddie the Frog.
I like Henrietta Hippo.
The whole situation, the way I feel about it is that we still living in a time where change is scary for middle America. That's white America. And they're never going to want to condone when it's changed. When it's changed by them, it's different. They want to celebrate it. But when it's changed by a minority, they can't celebrate it because it's a scary thing. Because once you bring forth that change, somebody else can come forth and do the same thing. You know, I'm tired of hearing about Republican and Democrats. Sometimes you just need to come up with a party like the Human Party, because there's no everybody is looking for self-preservation instead of looking out for human preservation. Instead of looking out for constituents and communities, they're looking out for self-preservation. That's why you got the assholes kissing the asshole of the asshole. You know, just a triple entendre. But it's just also some stupid shit dealing with this asshole again. You know, if everybody stop, I'm tired of the socialism and capitalism. Just do your job. Fuck socialism. Do your job to the best of your ability. If you drop it, pick it up and get back up there and do your job. I don't give a fuck what you do, what you want to claim you are. I don't give a fuck about that. Fix the taxes, make stuff cheaper, bring down the cost of the housing, help the homeless, do something with mental illness, do all that shit. Stop trying to come up with terms that can benefit people voting for you, and just do your fucking job. Do your job. You know what I mean? You got the damn you got people out there right now. You got Trump out there going on vacations. You got Mike Johnson not willing to bring forth any type of legislation in Congress because he don't want, as soon as he does that, he has to make sure that person that was voted, that won that election, I think was in Arizona, she still has to be inaugurated into office. And once that happens, it opens up the door to the Epstein files. So he doesn't even want to do that. That's why he's taking his time to bring Congress back. Not even about the shutdown. Mm-hmm. You know, the thing about it, son, and Kevin, it fucks me up because this whole country, these motherfuckers, how do you wake up in the morning and look your children and your family in the eyes? How can you do it? I could not wake my son up. I couldn't look my son and my daughter or my wife or call my mom or my father if they were still around and talk to them with a clear mind, knowing that I'm kissing the ass of a person that is really fucking America up. I couldn't do it. I don't understand how could Marco Rubio, who know the type of person Donald Trump is, do that? Ted Cruz, how could you do that? Mike Johnson, how could you do that? The House niggas, how can you do that? With Tim Scott, and they still kissing his ring, even though he didn't even think about putting him in a position. I mean, he put him in a position, but he lubed up. But other than that, he didn't think about putting him in a position. So at the end of the day, stop putting terms on who you are and just be who you are. Do your job. Do your fucking job. And that's the problem with America. Oh, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. You human being that needs help. We all need fucking help in this country. Mm. That's just my take on it, man.
Well,
it's funny, a country that's built on Christianity and loves to say, the Bible says, be my brother's keeper, but it's the one country that does not follow those words. It's amazing to me.
Yes, and that's the problem. It's always going to be, it's always going to be, I mean, you're worrying about AOC and Jasmine Crockett having low IQs. Instead of just worrying about people having low IQs, if you've done your job, I've never seen a Scrooge, a person that's a Scrooge the whole year. Scrooge almost even changed during Christmas time after a while, after the ghost came after him. But he's a Scrooge for his whole life. You know, everybody knew this. Everybody knew this. From the first time he ran for president, and the shit he did before, and y'all folded him back in. We knew this. But it's like getting you know if you take the cookie out of the cookie jar and mom told you don't eat it, you're gonna get your ass beat. And you kept doing it. And that's where we are now. We get our ass beat because people allowed them to take their cookie. You know, you took the cookie out the cookie jar and he's whooping our ass again. And now you want to cry over spilled milk because you ain't getting no money from your snaps. No, 78% of the people in America that get snaps is white people. You know, we struggle. African Americans, we struggle. Yes. But we were also taught to make $1 out of 15 cents. My mom always said, Troy, as long as you got a case of potatoes and a case of chicken in your house, you always got a meal. I remember I was talking on the phone with son years ago, and his son always go get a case of chicken or a case of turkey legs. Always.
Turkey wings, turkey wings.
Yo, what you doing, man? I'm putting these turkey wings up.
Turkey wings, yeah.
Am I lying?
Nah, but you know what else you gotta have?
What?
Fire.
That's the truth.
I ain't eating no raw chicken, man. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I ain't there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't eating no raw chicken.
Well, you can make fire. Get some charcoal, lighter fluid.
I'm just saying, fire is necessary.
Fire is getting cut too for a lot of people. A grill with some charcoal, lighter fluid, or
hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah,
all I'm saying
about it. I mean, y'all both understand where I'm coming from, right?
I'm not eating no sushi chicken.
Sushi chicken. You better not eat no sushi chicken.
They have that?
You be singing your song at the funeral. It'll be all over in the morning.
Sun's going to shine on your face. Make you think you can win this race and you can be the winner. Take the prize and go home.
Go home. I'm telling you, man.
No,
I don't understand. It's always good to have you. And another, you know what? When I woke up and I was listening to what you were saying, so I'm like, I listen to a lot of people, a lot of immigrants in this country that's allowed to vote. Yeah, I realize something. A lot of them in this country, there will never be a woman president. Because they're.
Oh, shit. Damn, man, they got cut off. The app crashed. Ah, fudge. We're going to get it back. We're going to get that old thing back. Oh, by the way, what up, my man? My peoples, David Figueroa was good. Yo, man, make sure y'all hit the like button. That's all I ask of you. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. Just that one little solid.
Please leave your message for.
He trying to call me, I'm sure. So I'm gonna just wait it out. Ah. Okay. That's Kim.
You have a call from.
Sorry about that, Kim. The app crashed out of nowhere. That shit crazy the way it be happening too. I be thinking that y'all phone breaking up. Next thing you know, that shit just go to another screen.
Yeah.
But
happens.
But before Troy calls back in, I want to say something about, trying to oversimplify this thing. Like I can't reduce this political climate.
You have a call from.
Yeah, I can't reduce it to just greed. I can't reduce it. I can't reduce this political climate to just greed or hate or any of those things. You have to kind of mix all of them in because there are elements from all of it. But 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 you have to understand that the systematic way of generating revenue is what these people are so used to, and they don't want to let go of that, because once you lose a system, first of all, it takes a while to develop a system that works. And then when you have to get used to a whole nother system, it's not, it's like trying to teach a old dog new tricks and you don't really want to do it. You know what I mean? You might have to do it, but you don't really want to do it. And that's where we're finding a lot of these politicians in the places. They've been easily getting their money from here. So, when you go from a job that pays you either hourly wage or salary, and then you go to a job where you have to get paid on commission, it's different. Very, very different. And you have to adjust you have to adjust your personal settings to be able to make this adjustment. And most people shy away from having to go to that new thing. But look, I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and ride it out, because when the clock strikes about
3:59 and 59 seconds.
No, we ain't going that far. When it strikes 3:56, we go to these birthday shout outs and we getting on out of here. Nigga tired.
Get these jobs.
I'll let you have it, Troy. I spoke a lot earlier and you weren't here, so I'll let you have it.
Well, son, first and foremost, that was what you just said was one of the most eloquently said things that you'll normally say. And I agree with you 1,000%. And I want you to start feeling that way on music night when you be snapping on me, because I don't fucking like it. But
I feel attacked.
You feel attacked. But that's the truth. It's like a stew. And it's just, and what you said about change, it's like back in the day, all three of us remember when phone numbers had letters in it. And then when they just changed straight the numbers, we was like, fuck that. I want the letters back. And then they went from 7 numbers to using the area code. And you was like, what the fuck? I got to remember an area code now too? Mm-hmm. So, and we don't like change, but sometimes change is good and it's beneficial to society to get more change, to get the good out of everybody. Sometimes you need to move the bar back just a little bit to see how things going to be. And if it doesn't work, then you make change again. That's where voting starts. And that's, but when you got the good old boys, which is middle America, that want to control everything, this is what we're going to get. We're going to get the dickhead. I refuse to say his name because he's not worth me calling him by a human name. So therefore his name is dickhead and asshole. But it's been a pleasure calling in this late in the show. Love both of y'all, so just go ahead, Kevs. I appreciate y'all allowing me to speak my piece for a little bit.
I've already said, excuse me, everything that I meant to say. I just hope, I hope Mandami does, I hope he does at least 2 of the things to fruition in totality. Excuse me. I hope he successfully sees at least 2 things through to the end, and they are working, and the people of New York City are benefiting from it. So others can see it and decide to do the same thing in their states, in their cities. Excuse me, that's what I hope.
That's what's up. Well, I'm here for it. Yeah.
He's got to fight. He's got to fight, and it's going to take the people of New York. Like I said earlier, this is the people's fight at this point. Everything that's going on now, this is the people's fight. And it's going to take the people to get through all of it. Everything we're dealing with, from health to food to shelter security, it is going to take the people to fight this. And sometimes it's going to come with some drawbacks. Like I said, if people decide we are going to walk out today, some people will lose their jobs. But that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
In order for it to really be effective, it is just going to have to happen. And then it's going to take more people to really honor, I'm my brother's keeper. That means if you know your neighbor participated in whatever it is, you may have to dig in your pocket and cut out some Starbucks to help your neighbor. That's just the way it is. That's what it's going to have to be. This is the people's fight. That's what it is. If we're going to get through this, it is the people's fight. If we can get a Muslim Democratic Socialist to win in a state like New York in this time, then hey, the people can win this. Because we outnumber all of them.
Just like my mom used to say, this too shall pass.
Okay. Well, at some point, we're going to have a conversation about RFK wanting to raise the legal consent age of sexual consent age to age 12.
What?
Wait. What?
Y'all hear about that shit?
Wait, what? Is that true?
Yeah. Yo.
No, that can't be true. That cannot.
Stay tuned. All right.
That can't be true. God damn. Are you making this up? Is that real? I gotta find it. That can't be real.
Go ahead.
Age 12.
That cannot fucking be. You need a part two.
He said we not have. Look, y'all not. Y'all grown women ain't having no babies. You know what I mean?
Did you just tell him that? Where did you see that? Oh my God. Oh my
Age
God.
12. You know what, man?
All right, we gotta do these birthday shout outs.
I gotta go, y'all. Peace. Love everybody. Stay safe. All the things. I'm out.
It's a very serious subject. All right, listen. Troy, I'm gonna get at you.
That's true.
Yo, stay tuned.
Oh, I gotta look that up, bro. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
I know RFK, JFK, After Kennedy, all the Kennedys. Look, JFK, Jr. They ain't even turning their grave. They grimacing in the coffin like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what the fuck?
Wait a minute.
Hey, man. Hey. Well, man, holler at me tomorrow, man. Everybody's a pleasure. To all the family, much love. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet and greet everybody, but I had to get my 2 cents in. Y'all know how I feel about y'all. Be blessed and be safe tomorrow. Holler at me tomorrow, boy. 12 years old.
All right.
All right,
holler. All right, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious October 4th, November 4th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box. My people. Melly Mel Blake. Happy birthday to you. And also Peace Azubuke. Happy birthday. And Gerald Smith. Latoya Wilkerson. And last but not least, my man comedian OC Diesel. Diesel. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious November 4th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on it, do the damn to rock out. Rock on it, do the damn rock out. Rock on it, do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, I don't know what's going down in NYC, but I'm having my eyes open so I can see exactly what's going on. I'm torn between whether socialism is better than democratic, but I know that I never want to be an addict. But right now, I got to see it, so I'm really at it. And speaking of addition, we got to do this thing without attrition or the nutrition. Got to nourish our bodies. Got to make sure that we eat our crazy with the oddities. Everything is going to turn out good. But before we get to that bag, let's get it understood. We have to be on agreement. NYC, what the hell is going on like that? This is a place to be. All right, yo, we're not doing this tonight. Listen. Let's keep our eyes peeled on these political races. I'm sure that plenty of people who listen to this channel, plenty are Republicans. Some of them, many of them are MAGA Republicans. My personal feelings is that if you can find common ground on a personal level, you should be able to do it on a professional level also. And I'm sure that the politicians who are on that political and professional level understand that. But if they don't think that we understand it, then they don't have a lot of motivation to make it happen. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, 2 a.m. Wednesday going into Thursday. So y'all know how I go. I look forward to seeing y'all again. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And I'd appreciate that. Appreciate it. And after the show, later on, please hype up the show. Please hype up the show. I don't be getting no hypes. I need hypes. Okay. As far as the poll question is concerned, if Mandami turns NYC around, do you think that other blue cities and states will follow his example? 38% says yes, everything good gets copied. 17% says no, socialism won't be widely accepted. 25% said it would really have to blow up. And 21% said maybe only in big cities. Well, we're going to see. The first step has been taken. We'll see how the rest of those steps go. Man, thanks for listening, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. I'm going to get back at y'all. You know how it is. This time it's either time to go to work or time to go to bed. I go Betty bye. Holla! Peace, y'all. Hit the like button. It's never too late.